Hi, I want to talk to you about the lowering kit I've done for my Triumph Scrambler XE. So this is the taller bike with the uprated shocks front and rear. And although it looks like a Steve McQueen special, it's not. This is a 2024 bike. The Steve McQueens were much earlier than that. And so it does have the current rear shock. Now there was a lowering kit for the older shocks, but I wasn't very happy with the way they lowered the bike. All they did was put in a softer spring. Softer spring will lower the bike, but the amount it lowers it is very dependent on rider weight, and shorter, lighter riders won't really see much benefit. Also, if you're switching to riding the bike more on the road, you really don't want a softer spring because you find the back end's a bit wallowy. So the way I've achieved the lowering is very common when you take cars on tracks, which is to put a shorter spring on of the same rate, but to use a helper spring. And what a helper spring does is it sits coil bound for most of its life. You can see it at the top there. So it sits there coil bound, allowing the bike to sit lower. But if you go over a humpback bridge, it obviously then takes up the slack and stops the whole thing from falling apart. It's not so common on motorbikes, but very common on cars. So nothing very out of the ordinary there. The kit that I've put together consists of obviously the 4 springs, 2 helper springs, 2 main springs, which can be any rate, can even up the spring rate if you want. And also all the machine components. So we've got a different top mount, a different in-between mount between the helper spring and the main spring, and of course a different bottom mount. So I'm planning to offer that whole package because I do feel there's a real demand for sitting the bike lower. As standard it's 870 millimeters, and this lowers it exactly 50 millimeters, so we're down to 820. And of course it does that regardless of rider weight. I'm going to make the kit available. It will cost around about £500, depending on when you're watching this video. Might be some inflation. If you're interested, email me at triumph@aberlink.co.uk. And a quick plug for the Aberlink in that web address. We manufacture coordinate measuring machines, and so we're a metrology company, so the one thing you can be sure of is that everything will be made to aerospace precision. If you're worried about swapping it over, it really is just a case of unbolting the top of the shock. The shock stays absolutely standard. The bottom of the shock, taking the 2 shocks out, and you don't need to compress the springs. When the shock is fully extended, there's no preload, so you can just dismantle it on a bench, put it back together. It's half an hour to do it. That's it. If you're interested, as I said, drop me an email and I'll put some kits together. Thank you.